Welcome to NTH and Hartlepool Voices, telling the stories of our people and community in our trust.
My name's Elliot Kennedy. In the studio today, we've got Mark Mallet, who's the Communications Manager. What is the Trust's annual Christmas appeal?
Oh, thanks for having me, Elliot. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give people in our community a bit of a better Christmas. We've got some really disadvantaged people living locally, so we're working with our local food banks to ask staff if they can donate any food or Christmas treats for the festive season. And we're also working with our local Salvation Army branches to collect toys and wrapping papers and other gifts for children in the area as well.
So what items are you appealing for?
Well, in terms of food, we're looking for canned and jarred items, things like potatoes, packets of cans of peas, packets of gravy, packets of stuffing mix, things like that. Store-bought Christmas cakes, Christmas puddings, mince pies, advent calendars, sweets, chocolates, anything that would be the trimmings for a nice Christmas meal or Christmas period. The food banks can't accept fresh produce such as turkeys because of storage issues, and they also can't accept home-baked goods, I'm afraid, because of things like allergies, even though that's obviously a very kind offer that people make. The food banks also collect toiletries, which a lot of people don't realise, and they often struggle for men's items like shaving cream and razor blades and men's deodorant, so if anyone can spare anything like that, it's really appreciated. The Salvation Army will accept any new unwrapped toys. They often struggle for boys' toys and gifts for older teens. They're also grateful for wrapping paper, tags and tape, and might surprise some people as well, but the Salvation Army is fine with kind of action-orientated toys as well, so things like Nerf guns or Action Man and things like that. They are happy to accept that. It's at the parents' discretion. They don't have any standing on what people can or can't donate.
Is there any set amount you'd like people to spend?
Absolutely not. As with any charity collection, this is entirely people's own discretion, and we ask people to only donate if they can. What I would say is one small tin of vegetables or a small toy could make a huge difference to a local family, but we don't want anyone to feel pressured.
Now, some cynics may point out it's buying toys is the job of the parents.
I understand that, I genuinely do, but the sad reality is some parents just can't do that. It's if someone can buy an extra gift, it may be the only gift that a child in our local region gets. Going to a food bank or a Salvation Army, it's not an easy choice. It's not something people do lightly. It's people do when they have no alternative. And every year after we run this campaign, we receive messages from the food bank and the Salvation Army thanking our staff for the generosity. So we know it makes a real difference to some of the most disadvantaged people in our communities.
So what's behind this appeal?
We've run it for a few years now, and initially it started after COVID. We were very aware that some people were still feeling the effects of lockdown, of furlough and things like that. So we ran it then, and it's just been really successful, so we've run it ever since. And from a personal point of view, I look back to when I was a kid, and we had lovely Christmases, absolutely lovely. We weren't a wealthy family by any means, but my mum and dad made a real effort, and I look back and I had some lovely toys that I still think of fondly. I had great times on Christmas Day. There was an abundance of food and treats in the house. I mean, my mum would yell at us if you went near it before Christmas Day, but it was a lovely, lovely period of time. So for myself, I can't bear the thought of a kid in our local region going without a gift, or a parent struggling and worrying about putting a nice meal on the table, and that is a real struggle for some people. And if we can make a difference in a small way, I'd really welcome that.
So where can staff drop off food and toys?
We've got collection points across both our main sites. Over at Hartlepool, Ward 2, Floor 1, the Specialist Admin Service Admin Hub, Outpatient Staff Room, the 4th floor of the Tower of Amanda McEnany's office, and the Chemotherapy Ward. North Tees, we've got the Tatchell Centre, the Pathology Staff Room, and in the main tower block, Floor 7, Alison Coates' office, Floor 5 of the tower block, the Senior Clinical Management Team, and Floor 3, the Care Group Directors 2 office. We've also got the main X-ray office, the undergraduate education department at the ground floor of the south wing, the NTH Solutions office, which is near the entrance to the Tees restaurant, and my office, the communications office, on the 4th floor of the north wing. So what happens is people can come, they can drop off their food and toys there, and once a week our brilliant volunteers do a sweep of the collection points, they pick them all up and they drive them off and they deliver them to the food banks and the Salvation Army. And I would like to say a massive thank you to our volunteers, because we couldn't do this without them. They're an absolutely integral part of this campaign.
Is there anything else going on in the Trust?
Absolutely. For Christmas this year, one of the things that we're doing is we're appealing for mini videos from staff to talk about what Christmas means to them, a tradition, something they like doing, and we want to make this into kind of like a countdown to Christmas advent calendar. So what I'd say is if anyone wants to get involved in sharing that, if they can just get in touch with the comms team and we'll give them the best advice on how they can share a little video, a little 30-second clip. And also on the 16th of December, the Chief Exec, Stacey Hunter, is going to be hosting a special team quiz, a bit of fun fun to get teams answering a few questions about Christmas. I won't spoil what the categories are going to be, but it's a bit of fun for that as well. So staff will be getting some messages soon on how to submit a team for that.
Okay, Mark, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Till next time, you've been listening to NTH Voices.